What drove 9 experienced hikers to flee their tent in the middle of the night, barefoot and unprepared, into the freezing Russian wilderness? What force was so terrifying that it caused them to abandon their shelter and face the harsh elements? And what secrets did the investigation uncover that only added to the enigma? Fractured skulls, broken ribs, and radioactive clothing? What happened on that fateful night in the Ural Mountains? Welcome to MetaHub Discovery as we explore another mystery of the history. This is Dyatlov Pass incident. It was the night of February 2nd, 1959, and a group of 9 experienced ski hikers, led by 23-year-old Igor Dyatlov, found themselves in the midst of a mysterious and deadly tragedy in the northern Ural Mountains. The group had embarked on an adventure to explore the slopes of Ural Mountain, but their excitement was short-lived. As they set up camp, something went horribly wrong. In a state of panic, the hikers ripped open their tent from the inside and fled into the freezing darkness, barefoot and unprepared for the minus 30 degrees Celsius temperature. It was as if they were escaping an unseen terror. When investigators arrived, they found no signs of struggle, but the bodies told a different story. 2 hikers had severe skull fractures, 2 had broken ribs, and 1 was missing her tongue. Some of their clothing was even radioactive. The group's diaries and cameras, found scattered around the campsite, revealed their journey up until the fateful night, but the events that unfolded remained a haunting enigma. The trip had begun on January 28th with 10 members, but 1 had returned early due to illness. The remaining 9 continued on, determined to reach their destination. On the 4th day, they arrived at the edge of a highland area, eager to begin their ascent. Little did they know, their adventure would soon turn into a nightmare from which they would never awaken. As the group of 9 hikers ventured through the treacherous Dyatlov Pass on February 1st, they were met with worsening weather conditions that would soon seal their fate. Snowstorms and decreasing visibility forced them off course, and they deviated west, upward, towards the top of Kolatsiak. Realizing their mistake, they decided to set up camp on the slope of the mountain, rather than seeking shelter in the nearby forest. Little did they know this decision would be their last. What happened next is still shrouded in mystery. The group's expected return date came and went, and it wasn't until February 20th that alarm bells rang and a search party was dispatched. 6 days later, the camp was found, but it was clear that something was terribly wrong. The tents were ripped open from the inside, and footprints led down the slope towards the tree line. But here's the chilling part. The footprints suggested some members were barefoot or wearing only socks, and their shoes and gear were left behind. It was as if they had fled in a state of panic, without even bothering to dress properly. The first 2 bodies were found at the tree line, under a giant pine tree. Branches were broken high up the tree, suggesting someone had tried to climb it, and a makeshift fire lay nearby. 3 more bodies were found, including Igor Dyatlov's, at points in between the camp and the tree, as if they were trying to return to the camp. But it was the discovery of the final 4 bodies that would prove to be the most horrific. They were found buried under snow in a gully, and all had suffered traumatic deaths, with no outward signs of trauma. 1 had a fractured skull, another had crushed ribs, and a 3rd was missing her tongue. It was as if they had been searching for help, but fell into a ravine. But that doesn't explain the missing tongue, or the radioactive clothing they were wearing. The investigation was baffled, and the coroners at the time stated that the trauma found required more force than humans could inflict. It was as if something inexplicable had happened, something that defied human understanding. And to add to the mystery, sightings of strange orange spheres in the night sky were reported. But what really happened to the group? What caused them to tear up their tent and leave without their gear? What caused the radiation remains a big mystery to this day. Show your support for MetaHub discovery by liking, sharing, and subscribing. It helps us bring you more amazing content.